For this exercise, we will create and format a small table. Although this table and this exercise is created using Excel 2010, you should find minimal differences between Excel 2010 and 2013 where this assignment is concerned. In order to complete this exercise, you will need EXG-1. This is a glimpse of the file and assignment that we will be working on. There are 2 worksheets in the workbook, but for this exercise, we will work on the first worksheet. Once we have planned the table structure, the sequence of fields, and appropriate data types, we are ready to create the table in Microsoft Excel. After we create a table Tools Design tab will appear, containing a gallery of table styles. Now, table styles allow us to easily add formatting to our table by using preset formatting combinations of fill color, borders, type style, and type color. In this exercise, we build a table with tour data for the year 2016. We'll start by entering the field names. Then we'll enter the tour data that corresponds to each field name, create the table, and format the data using a table style. Let's open the file that we'll be using for today's exercise. So we'll go to File and Open. EXG-1 is the file that I need. Notice this is a workbook with 2 worksheets inside, the practice worksheet and the 2016 tours worksheet. We'll be using the practice worksheet today. I want to leave my original file intact, so I'm going to save this file with a different name. Now we want to enter our field names in a separate column. We'll start in cell A1, and our field names are tour, depart date, number of days, seat capacity, seats reserved, price, air included, and finally insurance included. Now, we're not going to worry about our field names being wider than the cells. We're going to fix that in just a moment. It's time to enter the information from figure G4 in the rows below our field names, and we don't want to leave any blank rows, and each row is a record. So when we enter these, we really should be entering them like this. Instead of down by column, we're doing this across by rows. And there are keyboard shortcuts that can make your life a little easier. Sometimes I think about them, sometimes I don't. So you really never know what you're going to get when I start typing. For instance, just hitting home to return to the beginning of a row. 28. Alright. Actually quite a few ways that we could clean up the fact that our column headings are not really fitting in their individual columns. For instance, you can't see all of depart date. You can't see the entirety of number of days. I could double click individual columns, and that's a bit slow. I'm going to undo that. I could also select all of my column headings and double click in between any 2 column headings, and that's quicker. That's another way of cleaning up my spreadsheet. We're going to try an even third way, which is I can select A1 through H4, go to my Format button in the Cells group, click the arrow here, and one of your options is AutoFit column width. So there are a lot of ways to do the same thing. A1 selected, I'm going to go ahead and click, well, I haven't selected it. Now that it's selected, I'm going to go ahead and click the Insert tab. I can click my, well, let me get it, okay. I can click my Table button in the Tables group, and I should get the Create Table dialog box. Now, our task here is to make sure that the range you see here in this window is the same as our range actually selected. Where is the data for your table? A1 through H4. Now, for some reason, my actual table seems to have lost the little marquee border that usually surrounds the selection, but that's okay. I can tell right here that the range I'd like to use is actually entered in this window. I do want to see a check mark next to my table has headers. If you don't see that check mark there, you'll want to place it there. Our headers, of course, would be tour, depart date, number of days, seat capacity, etc. So I'll click OK. Now notice the data range is truly defined as a table. It even includes some filter list arrows which allow us to display portions of our data that's now next to each column header. When we create a table, Excel automatically applies a table style by default. The default table style has this dark blue header row and the alternating gray and blue data rows. But we also have the Table Tools Design tab here with a gallery of additional table formatting options. We can decide to choose a different table style from the gallery, and that's what we're going to do. To make sure when I make a change to my table that I actually do have at least a cell selected in my table, if not the entire table selected. We can click the More Options button here and actually choose a different style if we'd like to. Now, your textbook author suggests that you use table style medium 24. Notice as you click over each table style, you do get a tooltip so that you can tell whether or not you're in the right place. Table style medium 24. And that, of course, gives us a different look.